He says right up front at the beginning of this interview that he always found acting to be impossible, that he hated doing it, that it didn't come naturally to him, that he really struggled to get into that mindset. Like he described, nerves and all these kind of roadblocks that caused him to feel that it just wasn't his thing, that it didn't come naturally. He was like, you don't have to think I'm a better actor because I came to acting more naturally, that it wasn't as hard as it was for you, for me. He said, and this is the part of the quote that I really like, and like I'll name this episode after, doesn't matter how you feel doing it, we're all trying to get to the same island, doesn't matter how you get there. And he goes on to illustrate these examples of the raft and the boat, and maybe you're swimming, maybe you're drowning your whole way there, but we're all just trying to get to that same island that is good acting. I think this is like a genuine moment of like amazing insight, I think, into the process of art as a whole. It's interesting how insightful this can be, because I think that in art we all have a very different way of doing things. They'd ask me like, do you have a quiet place to draw in your house instead of doing it where it's noisy? And I was like, yeah, I like watching TV while I draw. Like I had all these things that was like, I just felt bad because I was like, oh, like everybody's telling me to do all these things I don't do. And for years, because of that, I never took my own art seriously, and obviously, I'm sure we all have regrets in our artistic journey, and that's probably the biggest one for me, is that like, I sometimes think like, I wonder if I didn't think that, like if I didn't think like, oh, I'm just playing. And this advice is exactly what I needed to hear, right? And that's why I share here today that there is no one way to do art. The point is not that there's a right or wrong way to do any of this. It's that like, these are two geniuses. These are two people who, I consider, and I believe that many others would, to be just genius artists. Like these are two of the greats. These are all just techniques, or not even techniques, they're just lifestyles. And the only through line that we can find to get to these is to do. Like people, it's all just about doing. But in terms of this metaphorical island that Jerry Seinfeld's talking about, the only actual thing that gets people to the island is just pointing that way and go. Figuring everything else out along the way, right? And I think that that's the big takeaway for me. Like, there's so much stuff around this, and there's not enough stuff about the fact that he made a bunch of movies, or Stephen King just wrote a bunch of books. And no matter what your process is, if you make your output look like that, you're gonna get to that island too.